What this ugly betrayal bill will do is devastate healthcare across rural America. One policy group has estimated that 35 rural hospitals in Kentucky will close.
That was Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear in a call hosted by the Democratic Governors Association earlier this week, raising alarm over what Trump and the GOP's proposed cuts to Medicaid in their budget bill could mean for Kentucky hospitals. Amid concerns from party members, Senate Republicans boosted hospital funding in the bill late Friday night, but it would only provide a fraction of the federal Medicaid funding that states are projected to lose over the next decade. We're joined now by Kentucky Democratic Governor Andy Beshear. Governor Beshear, thanks so much for being with us. Let's just start out. What does this bill, the cuts that are in this bill, what will it mean, not just for the state of Kentucky's health care, but for the economy of the state of Kentucky?
Oh, this big, ugly bill is going to devastate health care in Kentucky and hammer our economy. You look at 200,000 Kentuckians losing their health care coverage, 20,000 Kentucky healthcare workers losing their jobs, 35 rural hospitals that are the second largest employers in each of their counties closing. That is an enormous hit that's going to be felt throughout Kentucky and throughout the United States of America. You're going to lessen people's health care. We're going to lose people that we care about. Our workforce is going to be less productive because people are going to have to bring their parents in who are otherwise covered on Medicaid for long-term care. They're going to have to take days off of work to drive their kids hours just to see a primary care physician. I mean, this is going to hammer the American economy. It's completely preventable. And if they will just listen to some sense, they should stop this bill where it is.
Well, you know, Governor, speaking of listen to some sense, Senator Tillis of North Carolina had been handing out a document to his Republican colleagues showing how much money their states would lose in Medicaid money that would be cut under the Senate bill. You see it there. And North Carolina alone, the senator's home state, would lose $38.9 billion. But he's not the only person who's expressing alarm about this bill. There's also Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri. Listen to what he had to say about his own party yesterday when it comes to this bill.
I think that this has been an unhappy episode here in Congress, this effort to cut Medicaid. And I think, frankly, my party needs to do some soul searching. If you want to be a working class party, you've got to deliver for working class people. You cannot take away health care from working people. And unless this is changed going forward, that is what will happen in coming years. So I'm going to do everything I can to stop that.
And so, Governor, I wanted to play that because, I mean, he's right, what he's talking about in terms of the impact on the American people and on his party. But what will it say if he, Senator Hawley, ends up voting for the bill?
It'll say he cares more about representing the Republican Party or supporting the president than he does about serving the people of his state. I mean, think about if the senators from Kentucky, and I know Rand Paul voted against this, vote for it, and the House members, they are going to lay off. They are going to fire 20,000 Kentucky healthcare workers. This is President Trump firing 20,000 Kentucky healthcare workers, and this isn't some celebrity apprentice. These are people that will lose their jobs. And if his argument is he's giving this great tax break, well, every doctor or nurse who's laid off won't have income. They will not get that tax break. Their dollars will not go through the small businesses in those counties. This is going to hit one of the fastest growing sectors of our economy. And listen, I believe health care is a basic human right, that you should be able to see a doctor and a specialist where you live. It's why I've been able to expand Medicaid in my state to hearing, vision, and dental, all while cutting our income tax and our property tax rate within a balanced budget. But look at this big, ugly bill. They're adding trillions of dollars to the national debt. They're going to blow a hole in every state's budget potentially through what they're doing with SNAP. They're going to fire a ton of health care workers. They're going to throw people off their health care coverage. They're going to close rural hospitals, and more people are going to go hungry. What could be beautiful about that? Absolutely nothing.
Governor, before we let you go on, the senior senator from your state, Mitch McConnell, said this about folks upset, concerned, worried about the Medicaid cuts in this bill. He said, quote, "I know a lot of us are hearing from people back home about Medicaid, but they'll get over it. You represent the same people that he does. Should they just get over it? Will they get over it?
Yeah, ain't nobody getting over this. If you lose your job because Mitch McConnell votes for this bill, you ain't getting over it. If you lose your health care coverage and suddenly you can't get that treatment you need to battle cancer, you ain't getting over it. If you've got to take a parent back in who's getting great help and now you've got to quit your job to take care of them for every single day, you ain't getting over it. If you live in a county where 1,000+ people are employed by a hospital that is no longer open, you ain't getting over it. I mean, the fact is, if they pass this bill, they are going to pay in the next election, but we always talk about elections. The people of the United States are going to pay. Some will pay with their lives. Others will get hit in this economy. This is going to be one of the biggest unforced errors a political party has ever made. They're going to impact what was otherwise a strong economy with tariffs and now this. I just can't believe that they care so much about loyalty to a political party or a president that they do this to the American people. They need to rethink about what their oath of office is. They need to rethink about what patriotism means. We pledge to the flag, not to a person. And in that pledge, we pledge to an indivisible country. And look at what's happening. Just attempts to divide us at every turn. This is going to hurt Democrats, Republicans, and independents. It's just an awful, awful bill.
Governor preaching on a Sunday.